We're going. We are green, and Randy Popes absolutely hammered that start. Beautiful, that all-wheel drive Volvo hooking up completely. P.D. Cunningham a good launch, as did Stout in contact. That was, that is Sofronis, and it is, of course, Daskalos. A huge spin. Keeps it off of the barriers. That's a beautiful save. Now trying to get it back on track, and it steps out on him again. A little bit of a half spin, but the good news is no contact. Let's take a look at it, Tom.
I'll take a look at Jason Daskalos on the right side there. Looks like he might be just ordering a pizza. Very calm, keeping it together. But when he gets out onto the grass, that's where everything starts to go wrong. Accelerates a little bit too hard here, and then starts to slide out. Meanwhile, we're back in the S's, Greg.
And this is spectacular. This run, this S's is a spectacular one, but even more so. Watch this up through here. Look at that attack. Post, Whitmer, Pilgrim, then Sofronis, then Gaples, having himself a great weekend so far, as is this man. Randy Popes comes in with a sizable lead in the championship. Whitmer with an outside shot. Whitmer's got to have the weekend of his career right now to make this championship alive, but right now he's dealing with Andy Pilgrim, who is hunting. Now we hop on board with Brett Sandberg, who's running in the touring car category, sitting in the 5th spot, or this is the battle for 5th. He's 6th and all over the back of the 41 of Mike Pettiford.
You know, the thing that Brett Sandberg brings to World Challenge Racing in these sports car wars is he's always ready to stick his nose in there, and he's always making something happen. Generally, he's on the highlight reel too, Greg.
Yeah, he is exciting in that Whitehall stable Acura TSX, doing a great job. And here he gets down the inside of Pettiford. Now the question is Pettiford alongside? You bet, side by side, down into that very tricky turn 1. And it is a little off camber, as Jason Daskalos told you. You watch Sandberg push wide. Pettiford read that beautifully. That was what you call an over-under. Beautiful, but not quite good enough. Sandberg keeps that spot. Boy, I tell you, some great cut and thrust racing. There is a look at P.D. Cunningham. Absolutely the legend of World Challenge competition, Tom.
You're the winningest driver in sports cars of any other driver in North America, but it's hard to get him to talk about it. He's such a modest guy. He's your leader right now, and as you can see, there's a lot of real estate between him and second place.
Uh-oh, problems. This is Tommy Dreese, the Gulliver's Travels Krager Wheel CRP Racing Corvette, making his return to World Challenge after not being around since Long Beach. This is not the way he wanted that to happen, Tom. Let's see if we can figure out what happened.
Well, Tommy Dreese bouncing over the curbs here in the S's, and let's just see. It looks like he's got a gearbox full of neutrals there. If you look at the right side picture, as he just kind of glides to a stop. Not much else he can do, but this is a pretty intelligent driving right here, even if he is going backwards.
Yeah, back it off, get it into a little bit safer area. Meanwhile, here are your leaders as they are now working up through some of the GTS and touring car traffic. Oh, and look at this move. Randy Popes right down in between P.D. Cunningham, who was your leader in the GTS category, and I believe that was Karen Quila that he snuck through as well. That was a brilliant piece of driving. That's how you get through traffic and don't get held up. He knew if he got stuck behind those guys, it was going to cost him in these twisty bits.
I'm pretty sure he saw the number 43 in the back of that Acura and said, that's Cunningham. He sees me. I think I can pull this off.
Well, obviously, two of the very best on the planet. You talked about Petey being the winningest driver. Arguably, Randy Pope, maybe the second winningest driver in North America. Once again, here's a look at the top 4 in the overall and GT category. Here is your look at the GTS category. Jakubowski, a great run. Burris, Stout, and Schaefer, along with Rob Holland. Lots of action unfolding at the Racekeeper VIR Grand Prix, presented by MTMSpecialOpsWatch.com. One of them was right at the start. This start by Ernie Jakubowski. Spectacular.
That's one for the record books and his own highlight reel.
Here's another one. Robert Stout. He had a good launch, but Todd Burris says enough. It comes by. And then Kuno Whitmer. Boy, talk about a big hit, both literally as he gets into those tires hard and also in the championship.
Yeah, he did not need this to happen. He needs to stay close to that number 6 Volvo.
And here is a look at James Sofronis as he gets underneath Andy Pilgrim and picks up the second spot. You can see it started to rain about halfway through this one. And that made this battle, which is for third in the touring cars, awfully interesting. On board with Brett Sandberg. And that is Greg Schaefer this weekend in the DG Spec Scion. Number 36 squeezes through as they head down the hill out of turn 14.
Down by Hog Pen there. Those two guys in the pitch battle. And Sandberg, when he's in it, it's always going to be exciting.
Boy, he just glued himself right to the back of Schaefer here as they come down the hill. This is that tricky corner. You just start feeding it power. And as we talked about, this track narrow, he got a brilliant run, comes right back down underneath, and they are side by each down this long front straightaway here, heading down into turn one. Sandberg is there, but you see he's still not shifting over to the left, and there's a reason for that. He's got some company alongside. Schaefer, absolutely determined to run him hard, finally has to give way.
Great racing in the touring car category. Now here's something, oh wow, you never see in GTS. The number 43 car, Peter Cunningham, comes to a stop on pit lane. And Peter Cunningham, quite obviously, a little emotional about that. Let's take another look, Greg.
Man, Petey Cunningham, Mr. Cool, and you can tell this one was big as he comes down the hill apparently. All right, he's got a car off. That wasn't part of his issue, but you see there, he slows down, and you can hear something bobbling there, Tom.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's gearbox oriented, but you can see him trying to shift to something there.
Then he reaches over electronics.
Trying to maybe switch over to another coil. Well, there's a restart in pit lane. He's trying to get over the start-finish line, I think.
Wow, unbelievable development from the lead, folks. That was huge. Meanwhile, here's Robert Stout, and that car up front is Todd Burris. And that is the gap, first to second in touring cars. Robert Stout, an amazing season. But Todd Burris, he won the opening 2 rounds at St. Pete, then came here for a race in a different series, had a huge crash, broke ribs, had neck trauma. This is his first race back, an emotional weekend, puts it on pole and lead.
Well, so far he's led in every single World Challenge race he's been in an Irish Mike's car. That's not a bad bit of pedigree there. And there's Robert Stout in the number 18 car trying to run him down, and another glimpse of Kuno Whitmer.
Meanwhile, here comes Randy Pobst down the front straight. White flag is out. Randy Pobst on the way for his 4th win, perhaps, and a better lock on the championship with Kuno's problems. Everything going Randy's way today. Meanwhile, here is your GTS battle. There is Ernie Jakubowski. Remember, with Petey's problems, Ernie finds himself in the lead. Then he's got Mike Pettiford as a buffer back to Nick Isayan, and Nick Isayan gets through. This is the battle for the lead in GTS. It is close.
You know, the grip isn't what it could be here because there's some moisture in the track, and that's why Mike Pettiford can basically stay with these guys. But this is monumental for Mantis Racing's Ernie Jakubowski. Has an opportunity to put one in the win column here.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You would think with a bit of moisture on the track, that front-wheel drive car of Isayan would be the one, but he's the one struggling, and that Porsche Cayman getting the power down beautifully. Now, up through these S's, damp track, it is sketchy. Meanwhile, Randy Pobst working his way now around the exceptional corners here at Virginia International Raceway, coming up on some of this traffic. He's coming up on that GTS lead battle, knifing through. That's Pettiford now in front, then Isayan, and up in front of him is Jakubowski. Delicate stuff here. You've got to be careful. And Randy Pobst, pretty experienced dealing with traffic.
Not only that, look at the straight line handling he'll have over the rest of the field here, as he'll just absolutely blow by these 2 GTS competitors just to get back to the start-finish line for that picture-perfect start, or rather finish at the checkered flag.
Smart move there by Isayan, tucking in behind Randy, trying to get any kind of a tow. Look at Randy, even with that all-wheel drive. It is damp enough. That turned into 14 on the limit. Just dicing on that wheel a little bit. Now plummeting down the hill. Just an amazing sequence of corners here. And you can see he's staying off a little bit of the normal dry line here because there's a bit more grip in the other spots of the track where it isn't so polished. Now onto the front straight. Here he comes. Randy Pobst off of his 7th pole is going to nail his 4th win of the season. An awesome run. Meanwhile, watching as we're on board with Nick Isayan, Ernie Jakubowski brings home the win in GTS. His first win in an abbreviated first season of racing. And for Todd Burris, batting 1,000.
Yeah, not bad at all. When you enter 3 World Challenge races, you win all 3. And with the VW contingency, that makes a big difference in the paycheck.
Well, here are the results. Pope, Safronis, and Pilgrim, your top 3. The big story there, Whitmer in 4th, losing precious points. We take a look down at the rest of the field. Now, there is your winner in the GTS category. Ernie Jakubowski is saying, and Kevin Helms, another solid race. And Todd Burris and Robert Stout. It was close, but Burris getting the job done. But Stout going for those great championship points. The 18-year-old continues an absolutely remarkable season.
Yeah, he has had an unbelievable season here as we see the rest of the field. Stan Wilson, not with a great day in that SRT4. Carl Podol also did not start this race.
Here is a look at our game streamer instant replay of the race. In sketchy conditions, the two-wheel drive Porsche gets underneath the all-wheel drive Volvo. Sofronis through on Pilgrim. That was for second. And the guy they were chasing, this man, Randy Popst, he is on his way into victory circle, and so is Tom Natchez.
Well, the K-Pax Volvo was hot, and the conditions got funky with that drizzle. But with all-wheel drive, the Toyo tires can handle that wet, and we were just going for it, right? And coming down the straight, in the moment that I scared my race team owner, Bob Rubb, was I caught a touring car and a GTS car. And rather than, I don't know, lining up or going side by side, they left me a little hole down the middle. Well, I'm not going to lift, Tom. Right down the middle. Whoa! Readjust the mirrors, but you can't slow down when you got guys like the World Challenge GT Field chasing you.
And it was that move that becomes the MTM SpecialOpsWatch.com best move of the race. Here it is. Absolutely beautiful. He found that hole. Like he said, I'm not lifting. I'm going to take care of it. And through he went on lap 12. And Todd Burris remains perfect in touring cars. Here's Tom.
Well, Todd Burris, it's official. Every single time you enter a World Challenge race in an Irish Mike's car, you win it. That's not bad.
That's great. 3 for 3. It's been awesome, man. The car was great. When it started raining, I thought, uh-oh, but it was good. Awesome. Toyo did great.
You're racing some pretty good talent there as well. And of course, their points leader, Robert Stout, had something to prove here today.
You know, the competition here is incredible. You know, Robert, when I raced him in the beginning of the series, was really good. Now he's phenomenal. The kid was right on my bumper the whole time. In the rain, didn't bother him. It was great. The kid, he deserves everything he gets. It was awesome.
And meanwhile, Ernie Jakubowski, a win. Tom.
First of all, he had a great standing start and able to hold off the number 34 car all race long.
Yes, we did. We had it in hand. We're working on the car, and the car's getting better. And I kind of like the track, too, but the rain helped a little bit. I kind of like racing in the rain, so I'm not as worried about it.
And, of course, some of his joy came at the despair of this guy. Petey Cunningham leading, had an electrical problem into the pits. We managed to catch up with him.
I don't know if we lost a battery or what, but just the electric shut off, and that was it. So not a good day, but oh well. That's motor racing.